Yo. Tell her, babe, what you gonna do today?
I'm gonna build a closet door.
That's right.
My assistant.
Wait, what?
You heard me.
I guess I'm gonna help. Alright, we are about to build this barnyard door using Shiplap. So it's gonna be pretty cool. Let's get it. Okay, let me mention, since we are using Shiplap, this door basically is only one-sided. So if you're wanting to do this for an entry door that you see from both sides, it's not going to work. So the first thing you're going to want to do is find the most straightest pieces of Shiplap you can find. Unlike myself, the Shiplap I got was not the straightest. It was kind of what was left at the box store that I got it from. And you'll find out later on in the video that this does make a big difference. So find the straightest pieces you can find. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm measuring the height that I want the door to sit at, and I'm cutting each board down to that height. Alright, after cutting each board down to the proper height, I now had to start thinking about the width. I wanted the door to sit at 31 inches from left to right. So for me, I had to use 6 of these 1x6 pieces of Shiplap. Getting the width of the door I found was a little difficult, simply due to the fact that wood shrinks and Shiplap overlaps itself. So I found the best thing for me was just to lay out the boards and measure the width that way. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, I measured 31 inches across, but I also subtracted 1.5 inches from that. And I'll explain later why. Okay, so here I'm running a bead of glue down each lip of Shiplap and gluing the Shiplap boards together. Now this is not something that you have to do, but I think it looks pretty nice. I like to take a nickel and put it in between the grooves of the Shiplap, or in between the gaps of the Shiplap. I just feel like it gives it a nicer look. So here I'm just going up and down the board with a pin nailer, just nailing the two boards together, trying to give the wood glue a chance to dry without the boards moving, that is. And I'll just continue this process of gluing and nailing the boards together until they're all put together. And this is why I say make sure you pick the straightest pieces of shiplap you can find, because if not, it makes things a little more difficult down the line. As you can see here, I had to put weights on either end of the shiplap to try and counteract the twisting that the shiplap was doing. I decided to cut the lip off the final piece of shiplap just to keep everything symmetrical once the trim is placed on the door. Now it's time for the trim. I first started by cutting 2 3/4 of an inch strips. These strips will be used for the sides of the door. After cutting those strips, I then took them and glued them onto a long piece of trim that will be used on both the left and right side of the door. If you remember in the beginning, I told you I've subtracted 1.5 inches from the width measurement of the door. This is why. Now all I had left to do was to finish with the trim work. And this is where I thought I would get the door to lay flat. I thought by putting the weights on top of the door to get the bend out of the door and then putting the trim on after that, it would get everything to flatten out and kind of hold together how I wanted to. And it worked a little bit, but unfortunately it didn't fix it completely. So like I said in the beginning, just make sure that whatever shiplap you pick out, it's pretty straight. I mean, this is our third door that we've built, and this is the first and only one that I've had this problem with. So as long as your shiplap is straight, you should be good. So this is the piece of trim that's going to go in the center of the door horizontally. And what I'm trying to do here is just find the center of the trim and then I'll match that up with the center of the door.
At least can you erase that?
Yeah, you should be able to erase it. I did the same thing to the door.
Oh.
On the other door. And you're gonna line that up.
Those little lines match up.
Yeah, and then on this side too.
And these little lines match up.
Okay. Probably beat you to it.
Okay.
Now that that's in place, all I have left to do now are the diagonal pieces. Alright, so what you want to do here is just lay your diagonal pieces down from one corner to the opposite corner. And you just want to mark off where your trim comes in contact with the horizontal pieces. And then once you mark that off, you'll flip your trim over and we'll connect those two markings that we've marked to make a straight line to cut on.
Too much glue.
All you have to do now is put on the hardware of your choice and hang the door.
Yeah, buddy, we gon' keep talking.